Let's go teacher only right now. Okay. Kids.
Thank you.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Okay, first time. Screen just no signal. Oh, come on, people. That's why. Are you serious? Okay, this is gonna be fun. Thought we put a bigger cord on there. Okay.
Video camera. Who's on there? Who's on there?
That's for today. Okay. Okay. Let's get you here. Let me do a split screen real quick. Okay, now you got me both me and the notes. Okay. Let's have a word of prayer. Let's get this started. Now it's kind of chaotic right now, but this is going to work. Let's pray. Father, thank you for today. Thank you for everything that we've been able to learn, at least today. And thank you for everybody here. Help us as we just continue, as we finish the day out. Just guide us and help us to still stay focused in on the tasks before us. Thank you. In thy precious name, amen. Okay. Okay, let's talk about, so we can get going here, or so you know what's going on. Let's talk about what I just handed out to you. Okay? Now, those that are distant learning, you already have this information at home. But as far as those in the class here, we're going to go through it and make sure they know, and you can kind of follow along if you want to. Okay, first of all, you should have, you guys should have a green folder. I believe in your packets for those of distance learning, I already pulled out the worksheets for Chapter 1 for you, the activity sheets. So you should have those. Chapter 2, I'll give you the booklet, like I did the class here. But you should have your textbook, Investigating God's World. You should have a green folder that is going to contain, that contains your activity sheets for the book, for the year class, okay? Yes, sir.
Can I interject here for just a minute?
Sure.
All right. Please take care of your class, please. All right, listen up. Sixth grade, mainly this is addressed to the boys. We need to behave ourselves appropriately in the restroom. My understanding was some of the third grade boys said that some of you were talking about inappropriate things in the bathroom. And they also said that you guys were throwing like wet paper towels into the stall while they were trying to use the bathroom. Now they're pretty sure it was sixth grade, but they weren't 100% sure. So if you're doing that, you better knock it off, or I'm going to be in a conversation with your parents, okay? So make sure, because you guys had a bathroom break at the same time they did. Also, at lunchtime, Miss Paws watches you guys. At least one of you gave lip to her, which means you talk back to her instead of doing what she asked you to do. It doesn't matter which teacher is overseeing you, but you better obey them and say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, and do what you're supposed to do, okay? So this is just a friendly warning from your administrator. Behave the right way in the restroom. Don't talk about things you shouldn't talk about. Don't throw wet paper towels, and obey your authority without giving them a problem, okay? And if we do that, we'll all get along fine this year, okay? Okay? All right, thank you so much. All right, back to you, Mr. Brown.
Okay, thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, so once again, you should have your textbook, you have a green folder, you guys do, and distance learning you will. And that is activity sheets that you can just pull out. They are yours, that's the whole year's activity sheets that you got, so don't lose them, okay? Also, you received a packet, and distance learning, you got this packet. Let's go through that packet just so that you know what's in there, what everything is. And this is what I'm going to give you each chapter, for every chapter, okay? I'm going to give you a packet of information, and so let's go through it. We're going to go from back to front on this, okay? So your last sheet on that packet of papers that I gave you, okay? The last sheet. The last few sheets. So if you see the last one, I think it says comprehension check 1.1, right? And then the next one is 1.2, 1.3. I can't remember how many you have, but those are going to be your homework sheets. Okay? Yes, sir. Not in there. It was on that stapled pack. Yeah. That's okay. Go ahead and pull it all the way out. And then look at the back. The last sheet should be comprehension check 1.1 and 1.2. Okay? And then the next one should be 1.3, 1.4, right? 1.5, huh?
The second one says 1.3.
Right. Because the first one's 1.1 and 1.2. Okay? So then 1.3, then the next one's 1.4, right? We're going from back to front. Okay, so the very back of your packet. And then the next one is what, 1.5? Do you have a 1.5, or did we finish up with 1.5? Do you have a 1.6? Okay. And then a 1.7. Okay. 1.8? No? Yep. Okay. But no 9. Not a 1.9, right? We finished at 8?
Yeah, there's no 1.9.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So as we talk about them, and you're going to find out, those are your homework sheets. Now, if you notice, they were numbered backwards. Okay? Usually you put number 1 on top, number 8 on the bottom. Well, this way, when we're doing it, you can just tear off the back sheet and you're ready to turn that in. And then everything else is still stapled on, and you're not going to lose it. Okay? So that's why I do it that way. So it just makes it easier to get them out and turn them in. Okay? So those are your homework sheets that you're going to do as we go through the information. Now, the next one, what's the next sheet? Is it a quiz?
Yeah,
Quiz review? Okay. You have 1 or 2 of those, right? How many quiz review sheets do you have? Quiz 1 and quiz 2? Quiz 3? 3, 2, and 1? Okay. So you have those. Quiz 1, 2, and 3. And you should have test 1, which is the next sheet, right? Okay? So I've given you your homework sheets for the whole chapter. I've given you all of the review sheets that you're going to need for this chapter. Okay? And I've given you also the test review, okay, for when we come to the test. So when we come to the test part, you should have no excuses of, did I study or did I not study? Okay? So be reviewing those pages, those reviews as we're going, and it's going to help you a lot. Doesn't mean you have to spend hours and hours and hours each night. Read over it a little bit by little by little. And pretty soon by the end of the chapter, with what we're talking about on the screen, what we're talking about in our personal daily reviews, etc., then you should be ready for any quiz or any test that comes up. Okay? Any questions right now? You had a question in the back, I know.
So once we read, like, if we read a page today, when we go home, you, like, write it down and then you, like, study it, kind of?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, we're gonna go talk about our notes here in just a little bit, so you know exactly what we're doing. But yeah, that's basically the idea. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So the homework sheets, that's for the whole chapter?
All those worksheets, 1.1 to 1.8, that's going to be all your homeworks for chapter 1. Yeah. Along with your activity sheets. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Now, the front part of the front packet. Okay? So go ahead and look at the front page, because all the rest of the pages are talking about this thing. Okay. These are what we're doing as notes. We're going to do 2 things in class. Read the material out loud, or I will at least, so that the distance learners can hear and know what we're reading. Okay? That may change. But we're going to, what we call oral reading in class. And as we are reading, we're going to take section by section. And as you kind of see on the screen, I have investigating the notes that are going to be in front of you are going to be up on the screen. Okay? So basically all you're doing is filling in blanks. Okay? With information that is important, because not all the information that we read has to deal with your homework or anything, but it's just It's just added information for the topics. Okay? So as we go through it, and you're going to see, for example, the first thing on your notes would be this. What is a scientist? Okay? They are like a detective. A scientist is a detective. So all you are doing is filling in that blank with the word detective. Okay? So as we go through our notes, that's what we're doing. Okay? Any questions? Now, I jumped ahead a little bit to show you what I'm talking about with the notes, but that's okay. We're going to read the information, and you're going to see this in the book as we read it, and get some understanding of what we're doing. Okay? So let me grab my book real quick. Okay. So if you want to open your books to page 2. Good question. You can do one of two things with your notes. You can use a pencil. You can use a pen. Only thing I ask is that you do not use red pen or do not use silver pen. Okay? I don't know what any of the other teachers are telling you, but red and silver are not allowed. Why? Red is what we grade with. Silver, you can't see it. So you have to kind of turn it so that the light hits it just right. And it's just really difficult to read. Okay? So anything that you write, you may use pencil, you may use a blue, black, I don't know what all the teachers say, but I don't care what color of pen you use, except red and silver. Okay? Those are no-nos. Okay? Any questions about that? Good question. So yeah, as we're doing this, make sure you have a writing utensil each day and write things down as we go through it. Okay? This is your class. Distance learning, this is your class too. Okay? We just need to allow everybody else in the room the right to learn, the opportunity to learn. Okay? And as I send home my classroom guidelines, make sure you read through those, because it's all about the rights of other people, the rights of you, the rights of me as a teacher. What I'm allowed what rights do I have as a teacher? Okay? And that's to be able to present material well enough so that you understand what I'm talking about. Okay? And if we're talking and goofing off and carrying on, doing things that we shouldn't be doing, then it's not allowing everybody else around us to learn. Okay? So basically that's it. Now, with you guys being in the classroom with you, the 7th, the upper grades, whatever you want to call them, we have not been able to be in the classroom with them. And so to have it's difficult. Okay, it's going to take time to get used to. So anyway, you guys have a chance to raise your hand and ask a question. Okay? If you didn't get a note or something, then you have the opportunity to ask. Distance learning, there is a chat form, so if you write a question, I should be able to see it and be able to hopefully answer. I plan on not going too fast so that you can't get the information. I should be giving you enough time to write things down. But if not, let me know, and we'll make sure that you have that right amount of time to do it. Okay? Okay. We ready to go? Everybody ready? Okay. So open your books to page 2 and follow along. Now, as we go through this, this is your book. Okay? So if you have a highlighter, highlight things that we're talking about. Okay? Matter of fact, I may even tell you as we read, highlight that sentence that I just read. Okay? Or highlight that word, highlight this, highlight that. It's going to help you to be able to pull information, put it into your homework, okay, and et cetera, for anything that you have. So as we go through, highlight. Color, it's up to you. It's your book. As long as you can read it. Yes, sir.
Do we read that? We're not reading that yet?
That's going to be your first thing, yes, when we come to it, yeah. Okay? We're not there yet, but I just jumped ahead a little bit. Okay? Okay, here we go. 1.1, the mysteries around us. It says, do you like a good mystery? How many of us like a mystery? You like to sit in front of a TV and watch a good mystery, or try to find, something that really is intriguing to you so that you can solve it, to see if you can solve it before they even tell you what's happening. Okay? How many of you on movies, shows that are on TV, if you don't see what happens at the beginning, have you ever tried to figure out what happened? Who's at fault? Who's doing the wrong? And then by the time you are done watching the movie, you can say, oh, I was right. Oh, I wasn't right. Okay? Well, class, what you just did was science. Okay? You did the scientific method because you had an educated guess, a hypothesis of that information, of that story. And then you were trying to figure out how they did it. That's your part of the experiment. Okay? You're reading the material, hearing the material, you're watching. That's receiving data. And then you're experimenting, and then you're proving what it is, and then you're coming up with a conclusion. That's the 5 steps to the scientific method. So we do the scientific method every day. We just don't think about it. Okay? If so, if you like a mystery, you will enjoy studying science this year. For a scientist is a detective searching for law and order as he or she investigates the mysteries of God's creation. So highlight the last sentence that I just wrote. Okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do to make this a little bit easier. I'm going to read a section, so like these first 2 paragraphs, we're going to read that first, and then we're going to come back and put it up on the screen. Okay, so that you're not up and down, and trying to figure out where I'm at. Okay, does that make sense? That might help us a little bit easier too on it. Okay? All right, but your first one's up there. Okay, so you can share the work of the scientist, by opening your eyes and investigating the things that you see every day. We are scientists every day. We are observing. We are mentally recording. We are trying to figure out what's happening. We're trying to figure out, should I obey that rule or not obey that rule? And then we're coming up with a conclusion. Yeah, I probably should obey that rule. And, well, every rule we should obey. But there are things that you choose on a daily basis that you can choose not to do. Okay? Obviously the wrong things. Okay? So a scientist begins his work, paragraph 2, by looking closely at the common things around him. He observes stars, stones, wheels and whales, motors and molars, and molecules. Okay? He tries to think clearly about the birds and the butterflies, about the seas and the trees, about flowers and feathers and frogs. Why do they do it? They do it for this last sentence. They want to know the laws that these objects of nature obey and how they all fit together in God's creation. Okay? That's what God wants us to do. That is why God designed creation the way He did. Because He wants us, one, to glorify Him. And two, He wants us to study and learn about God. What better way to learn about God besides reading the Bible than to study nature? Okay? Don't make nature a god, but study it so that you can know about God and how God lived or God designed the world. Okay? He designed it with specific laws. The laws of gravity. For everything that goes up, it must what? Come down. Okay? There's other laws that you're going to learn through the years. This is what we're talking about. Is doing that for our benefit. Okay? Now, here's what we're going to do today. Okay? We spent a lot of time in the introduction, and there's more things that I probably will tell you as we go. A little bit more of what to expect. I just jumped into a lot of things today. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys at home. Hopefully I didn't confuse you guys here. Okay? It's been a little while since I've taught 6th grade. So I've got to get my mental picture down again for you guys and make sure that you're understanding. Yes, sir.
Do we have to finish the front page?
Nope. Now, if you look on your sheet, though, we finished the first blank. There's a few more blanks under the first section. And then each section, each lesson has a homework to do. Okay? This first one was none. But, because for 1.1 there is none really. But until we get to that where it says homework in our notes, then there is no homework. Does that make sense? But when we come to that homework, then that is what's due the next day. Okay? And for distance learners, those that are at home, then every Friday, I think we are collecting homework or getting homework back from you guys. So that would be your due date to turn in all your homework for that week. Okay? Now, since we are in our books at a good stopping point by section, we're going to go ahead and stop there, even though we're a little bit ahead of time. Okay? For those that are home, we're going to end this session today. And then for here in the class, we're going to get the room ready, cleaned, our desks clean, etc., so that we can go home here at 3 o'clock. So, thank you for listening today. And that concludes our lesson for today. Thank you. Have a great evening.